Oh my goodness. I've been waiting 4 years for this thing. Artist is Chachimaru. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we got 2 chocolate ladies today. This video is going to be short and sweet. See what I did there? So first off, we have an original character figurine. This is Priestess Shibuna, 1/7 scale, made by Q, based off of an original character from Dish. If you don't know Dish, pretty big illustrator. I'm a big fan. Now, if you guys know me, I don't buy original character figures all too often because when it comes to anime figure collecting, my philosophy is to only spend money on things you actually really give a shit about. I need to have that secondary reason to buy it, you know, that sentimental attachment to this series or the character for me to actually, you know, justify making that purchase. Figures are pretty expensive, right? So you want to make sure your money is well spent. Of course, if you have the disposable income and you're rich as hell, by all means, spend money on whatever the heck you want, even if you don't know the series, right? But personally, I want to spend my money on things that mean something to me. But of course, if it's an artist that I really like and they have a figure coming out, I'll buy it to show some support, you know? And that's what we have here. So here's the base. Okay, so it's square shaped. You got a golden rim, big squares on each corner. In the center, you have brown fur, pretty soft. I actually appreciate the brown fur color because if they went with something like white, it probably wouldn't age very well. What is this? I'm assuming this is her tail. So we have that. What is this? Oh, okay, yeah. I initially thought this figure was actually going to be cast offable, but they just have a secondary chest piece that actually has her bosom like all out there. The nips are sculpted very well, by the way. I'm probably not going to show that because I don't want this video to get age restricted, even though it actually just might get age restricted. I blame YouTube's AI algorithm. First up, we do have her staff. It's got like a little hook at the end. Very cool. What is this? You have like a little Anubis head. I'm pretty sure this just goes on the top of her staff, so. Okay. Oh, so you got her really long robe. I'm assuming this just goes on her shoulder. It's got a little peg here at the bottom. I don't know what that's for, but she's definitely more darker in skin tone in person. I'm pretty sure when it came to the promotional photos, they just used a warmer color when taking pictures of her. And her skin tone kind of just like absorbed the warmness to kind of give it that more saturated look. Personally, I don't mind it either way. I still think she looks gorgeous. Heck, some people prefer the more darker chocolate, so I'm assuming I can just take off her torso like that. Yes, indeed. Oh, okay, yeah. So that just comes right off. Grab her cape, put that in the left shoulder here. The tail goes in between her shoulders here. Then the tail has a little hole that goes into the bottom peg of the cape. Then I'm just gonna put this on the base. I'm probably doing this out of order, but I'll just slide in her staff here. Put the Anubis head on top. There we go. Not difficult at all. I'll give my final thoughts at the end. Save the best for last. Kakudate Karin from Blue Archive 1/7 scale Bunny Girl version from Max Factory. I've been waiting for this figure for 4 years, pretty much since Asuna got announced all those years ago. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the Asuna Bunny Girl figure unboxing, I'd recommend to do so. Now, initially I thought I was actually going to do another cinematic unboxing for Karin like I did Asuna, but then I realized if I wanted to do it like Asuna's video, I would actually have to take down everything on this side of the wall. I would have to take out the figures, move the shelves, take down the wall scrolls. It would just be a really big hassle. Plus, I've been waiting for this figure for too long now. I just want to dive straight into it. So box design, it's pretty much the same as Max Factory's other Blue Archive figures for their bunny series. You got the holographic text on the front, the neon signs with the card symbols, beautiful photography imaging on the sides and the back. And of course, it's purple because, you know, Karin has some purple on her. Oh, this has her ponytail. It's got a little placeholder here. I'll just take that out. Paint job is pretty decent on this. Okay, so Karin's base. It's pretty much the same as Akane's, I think, although this one has the default coloring. and Akane's is slightly different from a regular chessboard. I find this funny because Max Factory has done different bases for the girls now, because Asuna had like a fur base, Toki kind of had like a carpet, and then again Akane had the chessboard like Karin here. We have the silver platter with the 3 glasses of champagne. If you guys saw the last video, I unboxed Saber Alter's bunny figure from Aniplex, and she was also holding a silver platter with a bunch of food on it. It looks really sick. However, Aniplex had a different approach when it came to attaching the silver platter to the figurine. Aniplex decided to keep the silver platter and the hand separate, so the hand had pegs on 3 of the fingers, and the silver platter had peg holes, and you were supposed to push the platter down into the fingers. Depending on how much force you use, it's very easy to break off some stuff, which I've heard that some people have already done. So definitely not the most ideal approach, Aniplex. You should probably take notes from Max Factory this time. Max Factory's approach was the normal way. You have the hand already attached to the silver platter, and then you have a peg at the end of the hand that's supposed to attach into the arm. That's simple. Then we have her halo, purple black colors. It's got a nice crosshair. Cool. Finally, Karin. Let's get the plastic off first. There's a placeholder on her arm here. Take that off. All right, Max Factory. So far from what I'm seeing here, really appreciate how good she looks. Assembly now. We can put her on the base like this, I'm assuming. I'll grab her ponytail, put that in the back. Nice and smooth. We'll grab her halo. This does feel pretty flimsy, so I would be very careful with the amount of force you actually put onto this. Then we can grab her hand and put that in her right arm. Try to make that straight. Assembly process is pretty easy. There you go. All right, so final impressions. The figures are very exquisite. We'll start off with Shubuna here. QSQ, while I wouldn't consider a top tier manufacturer, they definitely did a really solid job on this particular figurine. Sculpt work, body proportions, look really top notch. Nice juicy thighs, good melons. I like the facial sculpt. I feel like they really matched her like solemn expression. Now, since she doesn't have a lot of clothes, obviously there's not going to be a whole lot of details there. But for the few clothes that she does have, they look pretty good. Like the armor plating around her waist. I like the little accessories that she has, like the bracelets, the headwear, the neck piece that goes around her shoulders. Very nice. I really love her boots too. They go all the way up to her thighs. And of course they have some nice hieroglyphics on the side. In terms of the paint job, there are definitely some people out there who probably would have preferred the more warmer look that they saw in the photos. But personally, I think either or, with like the darker chocolate skin tone, I think she looks great regardless. So for 26,000 yen, I do think for an original character figure, she is quite expensive, especially when you compare it to other original character figures on the market. This one's definitely up there in terms of the price. But if you're a big fan of tan skin girls or a big fan of Dish, I would definitely recommend this one. Yeah, about that. She's practically sold out everywhere that I've looked, and the only place that I could find her was the Omiyame pre-owned section, where she has gone up by like double the price. I find this hilarious because from what I can remember, she was pretty easily pre-orderable, not to mention that she got a really big delay. I think this figure was originally supposed to come out in like October of last year. So if you were thinking about getting this figure and you didn't bother to pre-order her at all within that huge time frame, you snooze, you lose, I guess. And the bonus thing, she can actually stand by herself. This is primarily due to the fact that the robe in the back is pretty long and it acts as like the supporting piece, which is definitely nice because, I mean, I like the base, but it does take up more space than I would like. And for a figure like this, I don't really need a base. Now, Shubuna also has a Pharaoh version coming out. I might pick that one up after it gets painted, we'll see. Lastly, Max Factory's Karin. Was it worth the wait for 4 years? For the most part. There is one glaring flaw with this figurine, and it's kind of irritating. It might not be a big deal to you, but to me, we're going to talk about the sculpt first. She looks immaculate. From her well-endowed bosom, to her double caked up cheeks, all the way down to her thighs. Kakudete Karin has got it going on. Proportions look super good on this figurine. I adore the way her eyes look. It's got that nice yellow golden brown that kind of just stares into your soul. Now, when it comes to bunny figures, not a whole lot of clothing either, but the detailing that is there is quite good. You know, the wrinkling on the outfit, on the sides of her hips, the bunny ears aren't rigidly straight. They actually have a little bit of floppiness to them and some wrinkles. I also like the added touch of blue with the ribbons and the bow tie. Just a little bit of extra color there. Now, in terms of the paint job, I think they got the skin tone perfectly down. Some people might say that it's a little bit too muted and they probably should have added just a little bit more saturation, but honestly, it looks fine to me, so. One nitpick I do have about the paint job is the regards to the ponytail. I do feel like they could have made the transitioning from the black to the purple a lot more smooth. Use a couple more different shades of purple to make that transitioning seamless, but that's like a little bit of a nitpick for me. Aside from that, the hair is fine. It looks good. Alright, so the one major flaw with this figurine, you might have actually already noticed it in the footage. There's a gap in the connection where her hand attaches to her arm, and it's very noticeable. It really bothers me. This was like a 10 out of 10 perfect figurine for me. I'm extremely biased, by the way. But when I noticed that, it dropped from like a 10 to a 9. So yeah, that's my only problem with the figurine. Other than that, Max Factory, you did a fantastic job. Now, there is one thing I've been dying to test out, and that is if Karine can stand by herself. And indeed she can. Although if you live in a place where you can get the occasional bump from either like children or pets, I probably wouldn't display it like this, because the smallest push of air will probably tilt this in the opposite direction and she'll just like fall backwards. So overall, for 23,000 yen, Karine, she is really good. I think if you can get her for cheaper than that, like in the pre-owned section, jump on it. But there you have it. So with that, I am finally done with my Max Factory Blue Archive bunny figure collection. The cleaning and clearing crew is complete. Well, with the exception of Naru, but Naru was actually made by a different manufacturer. Spirit Tail got the rights for that one. Either that or maybe Max Factory didn't really want to do Naru. I wanted to save money, so I ended up not getting her because she's from a different manufacturer. That's my excuse. Plus, Naru's not exactly one of my favorite characters, so it's like, I can skip out on it. I'm done. God damn, she looks good.